There are some games that are very difficult for me to put down. They have the same effect as a bag of potato chips. You go in for one chip and you go, all right, I'm just going to have a couple chips. And then before you know it, you've eaten half the bag. You're halfway through the game you meant to play for 30 minutes. There are games that have that effect. If I just want more, 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 and if I had another bag of potato chips, I might keep going until I can't go anymore. That's an effect in food that I've heard referred to as a moreish food, a food that entices you just because. Like you start eating it and you just keep eating it. And if you stop and think about it, you're like, I don't know why I keep eating this. I just keep eating it. And then there's games that you can't put down for another reason because they're just so interesting. You're so engaged. You want to discover what happens next. You want to explore this new possibility. Or maybe you just want a nice conclusion to a story that you're already pretty far along with. The game that feels like a novel that you're reading late at night, right? You're getting ready for bed. You read a little bit of the novel to, put yourself to sleep, but then it hits an exciting moment and you go, all right, well, I'm going to read another chapter. And then you get to the end of that chapter and you're like, oh, I might read another chapter, but you can stop if you want to. And maybe you do. And then you pick it up the next day because you're excited to pick it up. It's a very different sensation. Potato chips versus excitement about a novel. Of course, I'm mixing metaphors a little bit here, but I think you get my point. This is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about that junk food feeling in games, that urge to keep playing, that one more round sensation. And then the other side of this, I'm just curious about what's going on in this world, and I want to explore it a little more version of the similar sensation. This is Game, Develop, Repeat. I'm your host, Chris. Thank you, as always, for joining me. What have you been playing that made you think to do this topic today, Chris? Did you hop back into World of Warcraft, maybe? Have you been playing some Stardew Valley? I know you're addicted to that one. What did you play that made you think about moreish games that you can't stop playing? Well, actually, I played Outer Wilds, which is not a moreish game. And that's what's so interesting about it. That's what got me onto this topic. Because then I played a little bit of Darktide, which is also kind of, I don't know. It's not really a moreish game, but it's got a little bit of that sensation of like, one more round. But it's not going crazy with it. And these two games in combination got me thinking about it. Because Outer Wilds is a game which I will not spoil at all. Literally, I will not spoil it to the point of not selling you on the game. The only thing I will say is it's a really good space puzzle game. And I encourage anyone who has not played it to play it. I'm betting most of you have played it. It's very good. Don't look up too much about it. Maybe just check it out. Watch the official trailer on Steam kind of thing. Okay. I've been playing the Outer Wilds, and it has an effect on me of I want to go a little more to explore this game. But I can let it go till tomorrow. I mean, it has the effect of it's not right now. It's not urgent. Every once in a while I go, it's urgent. I gotta explore this one thing. And then I get to that one thing and I go, okay, cool. I'm out now. It's not another hook after another hook after another hook. I get to the thing that I wanted to find out, and then I can step away a little bit, and then I've still got some stuff I'm curious about. Then you go into the next day and you go, maybe we play a little bit of Outer Wilds, see where we're at. What's funny is this game has had that hook in me for probably a couple years now. I got pretty far in the game, never finished it, and then I saw it sitting in my Steam library and I went, I do really want to finish that game. Like it's just sitting there, right? Just waiting for me, just ready for me. And it's still got that hook and it's going, the moment that you think about this game, you're going to come back to it. That is a level of game design that I aspire to. I find that so cool and so fascinating that this game can be enticing, but not moreish. Not sucking me in and saying, hey, you got to do this now. You got to eat another chip, eat another chip, eat another chip. And then it has moments that are like, you should eat another chip right now. And I go, okay, fine. I'll lose 15 to 30 minutes of sleep because I got to get one more of these little exploration things in. Okay, fine, fair enough. But for the most part, this game respects my time and autonomy to the point of not manipulating me into playing it relentlessly. I love that. That is rare in art. And I think it's one of the reasons why this game is so beloved. Because it manages to be so interesting without being kind of a pain about it. There are a lot of games that are kind of a pain about it. And I don't like that. There's a lot of shows that are like that, where you finish an episode and then it's what's going to happen next week. You're on the hook. You have to tune in next week as soon as possible to find out how this resolves. And you hit the beginning of the episode and you're like, that's how it resolves? I don't care. Right? We've all had that experience with something. The end of a novel, there's a worst case scenario. You finish a novel, you wait 10 years for the next one to come out. I'm not going to mention any specific names there. But there's issues with that. By the way, now that I've thrown that in there, I respect a novelist's right to just never finish the book. I know that's a weird thing to say. But, like, you can have a whole audience wanting that book, and at the same time, you're living your life. And it'd be really nice for you to finish the book. That'd be really good for everybody involved. But if you never finish it, you never finish it. It's all good. Okay, back to what I was saying about games, right? Darktide. Darktide definitely has more mechanics that pull you towards I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going. What do those mechanics look like? Those are the kind of things where you're like, I have this specific goal and I want to get there. I have this specific goal and I want to get there now. And then after that, I've got another one immediately and I want to get there and I want to get to the next one and the next one. You got masteries in Darktide. You got leveling up. You got weapons you can unlock. You got levels you can hit, level 30, so on, whatever. You got different classes you can explore. You got all these different things you want to unlock. You want to unlock the next thing and the thing after it, and so on and so on. It's sort of the killing demons version of Pokemon. Right? You gotta get all the weapons, you gotta get all the weapons to their max, you gotta explore all of these different things, and then you gotta not catch them all, but you gotta kill them all. And that's actually not the appeal of Darktide. That's just a little side thing that it's got going on. It's part of the appeal, but I think the reason this game lands pretty well for me is because it's just got a little bit of that. You know, a little bit of MSG on top of the chips, a little bit of extra salt, little something to make you want more. But it's not the whole experience. You're not just licking a salt lick and then licking it again and again. I don't know how that metaphor is working for me. It's not working for me. They're not the chips that you can't stop eating until you finish the whole container. Darktide is the pour out a bowl, eat them all, maybe have a couple more and then seal it up for the night. And you're like, we can keep going. This is pretty fun. But also I'm tired out. I'm done. And that's because the gameplay in this thing is good. They don't have to rely completely on you unlocking stuff. Because the game itself is good. The combat is good. You're dodging around, you're blocking things, you're pushing enemies, you're exploring different weapons, you're exploring different ideas, you're trying different builds, and you're having some fun, killing some demons. It is inherently a good game that also has a little bit of that extra, like you went to the restaurant and they made it a little extra unhealthy for you because it makes it more delicious. Whereas Outer Wilds is like, I don't know, some crazy fine dining experience that has one or two moments. Sure, there are not even one or two. There are moments where you go, I have to get to this next thing. But it doesn't have this whole achievement system, this whole level up system, this whole whatever. It's all about exploration and curiosity, and that hits completely different. Now, the blend of those two things is a beautiful thing. But I've played so many games, and I've played enough World of Warcraft, and basically what I'm saying is I've eaten enough chips to know that at a certain point it just hurts my stomach, you know? Like there's a certain point where I go, Okay, well, I'm not actually gonna feel good after I play this for 4 hours. Like it's not actually gonna be a good experience. I'm gonna walk away from here and I'm gonna go, well, I didn't actually accomplish anything. I felt like I was accomplishing something the whole time, and then I walk away and I go to sleep and I'm thinking about what I wanted to do today, and I'm like, man, I could have been playing piano. I could have been doing this, that, the other. And this is something that I have a lot to process about this and figure out how I feel about it in terms of game design. It's constantly floating in the back of my head of like, when is a game genuinely wasting my time? And I say my time because I'm not speaking broadly. A game that is wasting my time might be the perfect game for somebody else to play at some moment in their life, right? Tetris, there's this whole thing about the Tetris effect, and playing Tetris immediately after a traumatic experience may help, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a researcher. This is just some stuff that I've heard. And you've probably, well, maybe you've heard this, but it's an interesting little thing. Tetris apparently might be a little bit helpful with processing traumatic experiences, right? And maybe World of Warcraft is helpful for you in its own weird way. Maybe whatever game you're playing at this moment is the game that you need to be playing, even if you're a little bit like, I don't know about this, right? And I think right? This is a weird angle. And I'm working through this philosophy right now, so this will change. But I feel like you will know on some level deep in the back of your brain whether or not a game is wasting your time, whether or not a game is an enjoyable experience. And this is an odd way to phrase this because wasting your time, I'm playing a game, you know? Like, I don't want to talk about wasting time in relation to games. What I mean is, if the game is actually giving you a good experience, or if you're walking away from it going, why did I play that? You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a productivity thing. It's okay to just enjoy something. In fact, it's good. It's one of the great joys in life is to just enjoy something. And if that's a game, amazing. We have reached the craziest point in technology where games can exist, especially in the state that they exist in. I mean, Pong was a masterpiece at its time, and now we're looking at Darktide. Now we're looking at Outer Wilds. And not Outer Worlds, by the way, Outer Wilds, the puzzle one. Although Outer Worlds too, like we're looking at those visuals. How did we get to this point? I cannot believe what we've done in making games. I say this as though I have ownership of it. I can't believe what humanity has accomplished here. And I also think that there are times when a game is not not the best game for me to be playing. Or like I play a game and I go, "Are you kidding me, dude? Really? Come on. We're going to do this. There's so many other things that I could be experiencing right now." And I don't like walking away from a game being annoyed that I spent my time on it. I like walking away from a game going, what a good experience. What a cool thing I just did. What an exciting game I just played. I just learned about myself, about somebody else's experience, about whatever. And that brings us into talking about design. The games that I really look up to, that I get really excited about, that make me want to develop games, are not the games that I can't put down. That's not what makes me go, oh my God, I want to make a game. This is so cool. This is so exciting. This is so beautiful. It's so touching. This is making me emotional. All of this stuff. That's not what makes me want to make a game. The Moorish game. Sorry, to clarify. The game that I just can't stop playing, that's not it. Unless the reason I can't stop playing is deeper than a potato chip. It's got to be, I have to find out what happens next here. An example is Expedition 33. I have hit a sticking point in Expedition 33, and I know without a doubt in my mind that I'm going back to that game and finishing it because it's got that hook in me. I don't know when I'm going to finish it. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know if I'm going to reset and start from the beginning. I doubt it. I think I'll pick it up where I am because I remember a lot of that game pretty well. But I know that I'm coming back to it. And that's not a game that just makes me go more, 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 give me more, more, more. That is a game that makes me go, holy crap. The writing, the story, the music, the emotional experience of this thing. The Outer Wilds makes me go, I can't believe what I'm exploring right now. This incredible journey of discovery that I'm going to only allude to and not spoil anything about. Or something like Baldur's Gate 3, where they have genuinely just created this entire world that you can interact with. And now I've only alluded to these high effort masterpieces right now. Let's take a slightly easier to make masterpiece. That's a weird way to put it, but there's a range here in terms of easy to make. Baldur's Gate 3, that's not easy to make. That's an undertaking. But if we look at Super Meat Boy, right? If we look at Binding of Isaac, is that easy to make? No. No, it's not. But is it easier to make than Baldur's Gate 3 in terms of sheer man hours and labor involved? Not in terms of creativity and like a lot of other clever stuff. Yeah, it's easier to make, technically speaking. I think. I mean, I think that's fair to say. So, Super Meat Boy, that's a masterpiece. Binding of Isaac is a masterpiece. Those games both hit pretty hard for me, but Super Meat Boy, I have never craved Super Meat Boy. I've jumped into it, I've gone, this is cool. And then I've left it because it's too difficult. Binding of Isaac, I want to do another run for sure, but it doesn't have that same deep cut feeling that something like World of Warcraft has. That feeling of I can't stop. There are moments, there are bookmarks, there are chapters, I should say. Sorry. There are chapters that you can stick a bookmark in and go, okay, come back to that. Right? There's stopping points. I need stopping points in games. I think stopping points are essential. And it drives me a little crazy when a game just has an endless quest list that always has a new quest, always, nonstop. And it's not like there's no clean break. There's no moment. There's always this feeling of, I'll just finish this and then, never mind, it's not quite done. There's never a feeling of completion. There's never a satisfying, like, okay, we're good. I don't like that, and I don't want that in my game design. But that's a hard thing to do because these days, like, quest lists are everywhere. And the games I've been playing lately have a move away from that. Expedition 33, there's not really a quest list. There's not really a map in Expedition 33. Outer Wilds, there's hints and stuff, but there's definitely not a task list that somebody gives you. There's like a place that you're keeping track of things, but in a way that doesn't drive you forward relentlessly. Dragon Quest XI has such a chill vibe that it gets past any kind of quest-driven motivation. And the quests aren't overwhelming. The point that I'm making is I want to make games that are compelling, but not because they have a lot of MSG in them. And I really want to pinpoint what the MSG is in gaming. I want to know so that I can just sprinkle a little. Just a little. Because I'm okay with a little. But I don't want the whole experience to be craving. I don't want the whole experience to be that. I want the experience to be, about exploration, about connection, about something deeper, about interesting gameplay. I want you to be learning something and actively engaging your mind. And I don't mean this in a jumpstart third grade math kind of learning way. I don't mean this in a preach to you about this particular topic that I'm passionate about way, though there are topics that I'm passionate about. I mean it in a I want your brain to be on so that you can actually enjoy it, right? Because there's numbing out and there's enjoying something. You know the difference between these things. We all know the difference between these things, right? Am I crazy on this? I know that there are games that people play that they love playing and they spend a bunch of time on that their brain is completely off while they're playing. Is that just me? That could just be me, right? But like if I'm grinding in an MMO, I'm not fully engaged. I'm just doing that to get to another thing, and then I'll be fully engaged for like a minute, when I get my level up or whatever, and then I'm back to grinding. Like, even now, oh, this is an interesting one. Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile. Let's go with Path of Exile because I played way more of that. I love that game. I'm pretty fully engaged when I'm in combat most of the time, but I'm not really fully engaged. Like, I don't know how to draw this distinction, I'm realizing. And this is why I want to figure this out. This is why I really want to know what is the little let's keep going, let's keep playing thing. Because there are going to be times in every game when you kind of zone out, when you kind of autopilot it, when you're driving the car and you're thinking about something else and then you go, "Oh, I'm at my destination." That's grinding. And like you can autopilot a fair bit, even in some pretty action-heavy games. You can get away with it. But that's not quite what the thing is it? The ability to autopilot it, that's different. That's a different element of game design. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I got a book about game design. What is it called? It's called, well, you know what? I'll tell you what it's called after I read some of it, and if I like it, then we'll talk about it. But I picked up one of the more broadly recommended books about game design. Now, I'm excited to do that, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is exactly that makes a game moreish. And I think a lot of it is, now this is just because I have a little pet peeve on this stuff, but I think a lot of it is like, loot box mechanics, daily rewards, login bonuses, the kind of things that dating apps add in, the kind of things you get at like McDonald's reward program, like the kind of thing that you would get. Sorry, I picked a random fast food restaurant. I have no idea if they do anything like this. The kind of thing that you get from any major brand that's like, oh, if you do this often, then you'll, just some hook to keep you coming back. The stuff that you get from games as a service. But then I know that it's in single player games too. The benefit of it being in single player games is when it's done, it's done. You finish the book. Incredible. Finished. Cool. I mean, maybe not entirely. Like Vampire Survivors and Survivors like games have a very dedicated following, I think, because there is some of this moreish stuff. So what is it there? It's the level ups, it's the bright lights, it's the collection, the getting to the very end of it, the joy of just becoming powerful, but that's not it. People have fallen into this trap of, oh, gamers just want to feel powerful. That's not it. This is a throwback, but I remember hearing an interview about Diablo 3 before it was released from one of the designers of Diablo 3, and I just remember this quote where he said something about players just want to feel powerful, so we just made sure that they get to feel as powerful as possible. And like, I've discussed this with my brother before. I think he might have brought it up. I might have brought it up. I don't know. We ended up talking about it and just being like, yeah, that's a red flag. If somebody's like, yeah, it's all about power fantasy, it's like, that's Diablo 2 was not all about power fantasy. But it had that moreish thing too. It had that like, when am I going to get the drop that I want? right? Little gambling mechanic. Little wins that loot coming. Let me keep chasing after it. The little what is it? What is that? What is it called? This box. It's not Pavlovian conditioning. It is a I'm looking it up. Hold on. Okay, I remembered it. I just had to stop recording for a second. A Skinner box. It's like a Skinner box. The thing where you're hitting a button over and over, and sometimes you get rewarded, most of the time you don't, and you balance that perfectly to keep people hitting the button. That is part of the whole Moorish thing. And I don't love tapping into that part of human psychology. I think it's overly tapped into right now. I'm not even saying that it's a bad thing, by the way. I think it's probably okay sometimes. But I think it's so used right now, so heavily used right now, that it's kind of starting to look like a bad thing. And what is not all over culture right now, what is not everywhere, what is not flooding the entire industry is just deep human connection, urge to explore, urge to learn, urge towards mastery. Now that does definitely exist. That's in Elden Ring, that's in competitive games, that's in Dark Souls. But that's interesting to me. All of those things I want to explore, because I feel like, and I know this is like I'm being a little snobby with this one, but I feel like that's my idea of game design. Like, I think that the addictive stuff, the like you keep eating it and you don't know why, I feel like that's like it's a little seasoning, it's a little accent, it's a little but it's not the game design. That's not the core. That can be the thing that puts it over the top. Put a little salt in the dish, make everything a little more powerful, but I just don't think that that's the core. And I feel like it's this layer that's on top of all of these games that we play that can deceive us as developers. We can be making a game and we can go, I want to make a game like this. And it's like, which part of the game do you want to make? Do you want to make the part where it's like a hook? Because just separate that out from the fundamental game design, right? If you only make the game addictive, what is the fundamental game design that addictive feeling is built on top of? And I'm using the word addictive now just because I've said Moorish too many times in the episode, so I've kind of pivoted. And that is like a more extreme version of a similar feeling. So I don't know. I think they're interconnected. Here's a question for you to get you thinking in the new year, and I'm going to give it a little positive spin because I feel like talking about all this stuff, I don't know, it feels a little heavy somehow. So let's give you a little positive spin question to end things up. This will be up for discussion in the Discord. The question is, what is your favorite is a weird word, but what is a design element that you love from any game? Pick one mechanic, one piece of art, one storytelling thing. What is a design element that you love? And you can make this broad. You can make it very specific. I'll leave that to you. But I'm going to go ahead and post that in the Discord, see what people have to say. And that's all I got for you this week. I'll see you guys in the new year. Happy New Year. Hope you had a good holidays. And that's it. Until next time, get out there, make some stuff, and have fun with it. Bye-bye.